Dave welcomes Richard Lewis, Melissa Etheridge, and Linda Fiorentino tonight on The Late Show with David Letterman. Thanks for watching CBS, now your local news.
Coming up in just seconds, he still hasn't called the mayor, but he did answer a call from David Letterman, the governor-elect's top 10 list on Late Show. Find out what Judge Lancito fears and what he does to fight it. An exclusive interview with the judge in the Simpson case. Plus, why heart disease isn't for men only. The subtle warnings that could save your life if you're a woman. Stay tuned. It's all coming up next on Channel 2 News.
This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm John Roberts.
And I'm Dana Tyler. They say it's great to be king. It's also great to be governor. And it's even better to be governor-elect, especially in New York. And here's the proof. Look who's grabbing the spotlight on America's favorite late show.
Top 10 ways now to mispronounce this gentleman's name, Pataki. Number 10, Pataki. Number 9, Pakatiki. Number 8, Paturki. Number 7, Souvlaki. Number 6, Pat Stay Jackie.
Want to see the rest of the list? Stay tuned for Late Show with David Letterman right after Channel 2 News at 11:30 tonight. So, how do you pronounce the governor-elect's last name? We called his office to find out. Here goes. It's Pataki. Can you say Pataki? John?
A source of ours in Letterman land offers this extra suggestion to Governor-elect Pataki. Call the mayor Backy. But Mayor Giuliani isn't joking around tonight when it comes to New York City's future and financial status. The mayor upped his war of words with Pataki and other Republicans. Channel 2's Marcia Kramer reports on the mayor's threat.
Coming soon to a front page near you. Rudy to Feds, drop dead. Or Rudy to George, drop dead. Because in his escalating war with partisan Republican hotshots, Giuliani today threatened to impound federal and state tax revenue if people in Washington and Albany don't quit threatening the Big Apple.
I think that this is an argument actually that is worth making. I think it's worth making throughout the rest of the state and in the rest of the country. And
the mayor says House Speaker-to-be Newt Gingrich better not mess with city aid dollars because we give Washington over $8 billion more in tax revenue than we get back. And the same goes for Governor-to-be George Pataki. Albany gets $3.3 billion more.
I think the sooner the governor gets to substance and the partisan political sniping ends, the sooner he's going to establish a much better image of himself in the minds of people in the city and in the state.
Well, what about this idea that he says you have to call between 9 and 5?
I mean, that speaks for itself, right?
The mayor was particularly irked at Gingrich, whose home state of Georgia gets back $1 billion more in federal aid than it pays in, for these remarks at a Heritage Foundation speech yesterday.
We're going to discuss the future of New York City with Governor Pataki. I didn't mean to say that. We're going to...
It wasn't the first time that Newt Gingrich has done that. You shouldn't act surprised. He's been doing that for a long time. I think this particular comment was not intended to bash New York. I think this particular comment was partisan payback.
But Giuliani, who has had to put up with continuous partisan sniping since he backed Mario Cuomo in the governor's race, wasn't done. He also kissed off the Republican National Convention. He says he's eyeing a different convention for those dates that could line the city's pockets with more dough.
If people are going to use the Republican Convention to extort and to threaten, it doesn't make sense to move ahead.
But if New York City is the punching bag of newly empowered Republicans, it's also the punchline of already empowered late-night comedians. David Letterman's top 10 list last night asked, how do you know if your new governor is nuts? Answer number 6.
Won't return phone call of best damn mayor of the best damn city of the best damn country in the world.
See what happens when you fill one pothole?
So could Giuliani really impound the tax dollars? Answer, yes. What would happen to him if he did? Well, George Pataki could send the National Guard in to arrest him, or Congress could send the battleship Iowa back to the Staten Island home port with orders to throw him in the brig. Nah. I'm Marcia Kramer, Channel 2 News.
Mayor Giuliani is also getting tough on people who want welfare checks. He says if you want the money, you have to work and get clean of drugs if you're on them. Giuliani's new welfare plan requires all single, able-bodied adults who want welfare to take work assignments like cleaning public property. They also have to be drug-free. The plan could take effect in January without city council approval. New Jersey Governor Christy Whitman is keeping a campaign pledge tonight. She's promising another tax cut in her upcoming budget, although she's not saying how much. But there's another pledge Whitman is breaking. After vowing never to appear on the radio show of controversial host Bob Grant, Whitman will be on tomorrow. She'll talk about racism and intolerance. Grant was accused of racism during New Jersey's U.S. Senate race.
The tragic drowning of a Bronx student is blamed tonight on the school staff that should have been watching him. School's investigator, Ed Stancic, has released a scathing report on the death of 14-year-old Danny Marichello. The sixth grader from IS 166 drowned during a class trip to Pennsylvania's Dorney Park last June. The report says the staff did not supervise the students. The school's chancellor says the assistant principal will be fired and the teachers disciplined. A school gym teacher is arrested tonight for allegedly fondling a young student. Police say 53-year-old Leonard Quartararo sexually abused a 13-year-old girl in his office at JHS 123. Quartararo has worked there for 31 years. He now faces charges of sexual abuse and assault.
Things are tense but quiet tonight at Rikers Island Prison Complex after 2 days of inmate protests. Prisoners have been staging a food and work boycott to protest cuts in the budget and prison programs. Yesterday, about 3,000 of the nearly 16,000 inmates refused to eat lunch. Correction officials say fewer boycotts were reported today.
Lawyers now have to beat the clock in the O.J. Simpson case. Judge Lancito is imposing a 20-minute time limit for attorneys to question prospective alternate jurors. The lawyers were taking up to an hour per person. Ito is trying to pick up the pace in jury selection. Tonight, you'll hear Judge Ito reveal his secret fear in Part 3 of our exclusive interview with him. As Tricia Toyota of KCBS Television in Los Angeles reports, Ito also tells us what it takes to be a good judge.
You need to try to have a well-rounded sense of fairness. And when I say well-rounded, fairness is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. But you at least have to make people feel, when you're a judge, that they had their fair day in court, and that the judge listened to what they had to say, considered the legal issues, and then rendered a judgment that makes sense, given the facts and the law that apply to the case.
And Lance Ito's seen his share of cases, first as an L.A. deputy DA, then as a municipal judge. And since 1989, he's been sitting on the criminal court bench. And he's not a complete stranger to the spotlight. In 1992, Ito got high marks for his handling in the case of the multimillionaire swindler Charles Keating. Ito practices a conservative approach to justice and believes society must live with rules.
You have to have a certain desire to see that things come out right, that the right thing ought to be done. And that has to be something that's important to you. You also have to be able to understand your own limitations and failings as a human being. You have to understand that quality exists in all of us, that the fact that we're not perfect, that we all make mistakes, and that if we're going to live in an orderly society, we need to have some laws and some organization, and that's what the law is for.
Is that more difficult, do you think, today than, let's say, 10 years ago?
Absolutely.
What makes it more so?
What makes it more so is I think that the public has become increasingly disenchanted with the legal justice system, especially on the criminal side. Because of some highly publicized cases, which I don't need to elaborate upon here, there's a concern in the community that the criminal justice system and the courts, as being an integral part of that, are not working very well.
People have told me that there probably is no one who works harder than you do, that you are extremely well prepared. You get to the courthouse very early in the morning. It's a very long day.
I am terrified. The thing that terrifies me is to go out on the bench and to have parties begin to argue something to me that I have no idea what it is they're talking about. And part of being able to sit there and look calm is the fact that I've read everything that they've asked me to read. I've done my own research, and I've thought about it. And I like to have the feeling of confidence when I go out on the bench that I've thought about the issues and that I'm not going to be surprised by anything that happens in court. That's what I strive for. It doesn't happen all the time.
Has this been a learning experience for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I tried the Charles Keating case, I thought I had seen and dealt with just about everything that a trial judge could be faced with. And my latest case assignment brings me interesting issues each and every day that I had never contemplated before.
And in a new development, Judge Ito's wife may be called to testify in the Simpson case. Peggy York is a captain with the LAPD. She'll be questioned at a hearing on Monday to see if there is a possible conflict of interest. The defense wants to find out if she was involved in an investigation of Mark Furman, the LAPD detective who found the bloody glove on Simpson's estate. The hearing will not be before Judge Ito.
Coming up on Channel 2 News at 11, an alarming report why your life may be in danger when you go to the hospital for help.
Plus, heart disease isn't just for men. We'll teach you how the hard to spot symptoms for women.
And later, would you take a death-defying jump into this and pay for it? And Frank has your forecast, and it's free. Frank?
And first, Tropical Storm Gordon. It is now 60 miles east of Daytona Beach, moving up along the coast. Gale warnings are up as far north as Virginia Beach. I'll have details on the storm and our own weather coming up.
Channel 2 News, sponsored by the new BMW V8 7 Series.
It has numerous refinements that reduce wear and tear on moving parts. Your hands, back, and eyes, to name a few. Presenting the BMW of luxury cars.
Tom, can I see you for a moment?
Yeah.
You sent that package FedEx like I asked, right?
Well, Carol, sometimes you've got to be your own man, woman. Blaze your own trail. Stand on your own 2 feet. Break away from the herd. March to the beat of a different drum. Stare fate in the eye. Zig when the other guy zags.
Package never got there, did it?
No, not even close.
Oh.
Carol,
Yes, Tom.
will this affect my raise?
Well, you just gotta bite the bullet.
Next
And
time, use FedEx.
Get right.
If you look no further than our clear Caribbean waters, you'll miss the true colors of our islands.
The Cayman Islands.
Announcing the Dodge Intrepid Equipment Sale, where you can choose the extras to help you enjoy the view, cruise along, feel secure, put your foot down, and still flex your muscles. Throw in a discount from package value, and for only $199 a month, you can lease this remarkable car. During the Dodge Intrepid Equipment Sale.
Tonight, New York's new governor, George
Pataki.
plus Richard Lewis
I couldn't have said it better.
and Melissa Etheridge.
Would you believe Scarlett and I used the same dressmaker?
Tropical Storm Gordon is finally out to sea tonight, leaving Florida reeling from death and destruction. All storm warnings are now listed, but after 3 days of torrential rains, Gordon has left its mark on the state. 6 deaths are now blamed on the storm, including one person who died in a tornado spawned by the tropical storm yesterday. At least 40 people were hurt and hundreds of homes damaged in that twister.
It could be a matter of life and death. A disturbing report out tonight says city hospital interns and residents work too many long hours and possibly endanger lives. A study by New York's public advocate Mark Green examined 27 teaching hospitals. It found 12 of them had interns and residents working more than the state legal limit of 80 hours a week. We spoke with a Bellevue Hospital resident who said patients are suffering for it.
I think doctors get very irritable. They're not very nice to their patients. They're not very nice to the nurses either. I think that we're very good at pulling our patients through crises. We're not always that good at making the more subtle diagnosis late into the night.
The report also found most of the hospitals had no attending physician on site or within 30 minutes of the hospital. Like the long hours, that violates state health department regulations.
Mention heart disease, and most people think it's for men only. The fact is, heart disease is a leading killer of women. And the warning signs are harder to spot in women than in men. In this special report, Dr. Max Gomez has important information on heart disease that could save your life.
Coming off bypass.
Bypass surgery.
Had 2 blockages in this blood vessel.
Angiograms, pacemakers, stress tests. Want to bet you were thinking it's a man under all that medical equipment? Well, you'd be wrong. All these patients are women, and they've got lots of company.
Honey, where's the ball at?
Rhonda Red exercises every day, doesn't smoke, eats well, and she's 37 years old.
I felt a sharp pain in my chest and in my left arm, and I got in a cab, and I knew I was having a heart attack.
Yep, that's good.
Gracie Santana was just 36 when what she thought was a bad case of indigestion also turned out to be a heart attack.
Did you think you were too young, or that women don't get heart attacks, or what?
I think it's too young for me to have a heart attack.
The fact of the matter is that heart disease is the major killer among women. And of the 500,000 heart attacks that occur annually, half of those occur in women.
In fact, heart disease kills far more women than breast cancer, ovarian cancer, lung, and uterine cancer combined. Yet women, and even many doctors, tend to think of heart disease as a man's disease because premenopausal women are somewhat protected by the estrogen in their systems.
There are many stories in which a woman has presented complaining about vague symptoms of fatigue or shortness of breath or some funny feeling in the area of the stomach. And that's diagnosed as either gallbladder disease or some kind of stomach disease.
I'm going to listen to your arteries, okay?
Part of the problem is that women's symptoms are often different than a man's, like Marilyn Murphy, who never even knew she had had a heart attack.
I told them they were crazy because I had no, he kept saying, you had pain. But I had no pain. If I had pain, I would have been down here.
The protection women enjoy earlier in life is lost after menopause, when heart disease rates catch up with men. That means that women are 5 to 10 years older and a whole lot sicker than men when their heart disease is diagnosed.
They have a greater incidence of other complicating vascular-related states, diabetes, hypertension, peripheral vascular disease, obesity.
Women also get treated differently than men. Studies show they're less likely to get a clot buster to stop a heart attack. They're also less likely to have cardiac catheterization to diagnose blocked arteries or to have balloon angioplasty to open those blockages. They're also less likely to have bypass surgery, and even when they do, they die more often and get less relief from the operation.
Women should have stress tests and should have angiograms if it's necessary. Shouldn't be excluded, so they just really need to make sure that someone out there is listening to them and taking their symptoms seriously.
And remember, any chest pain, discomfort, or shortness of breath could be a heart attack. Go to the emergency room or to your doctor. And as for being protected before menopause, it's all out the window if you have diabetes, very high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or you smoke. In that case, your risk is about the same as a man. And for women after menopause, by the way, estrogen replacement can slash the risk of heart disease dramatically.
And what about race, Max? Who's at the greatest risk?
Well, African-American women, black women, are at greater risk even than white women. Their risk factors are a little bit differently, and their health care profile also is not quite as good, so they tend to do even worse yet.
Wow. Thank you, Max.
You bet.
Now's the chance to save your own life. The annual Great American Smokeout, sponsored by the American Cancer Society, starts at midnight tonight. The idea is to get smokers to quit for a day and possibly even longer. Last year, some 9.4 million smokers kicked the habit for at least a day.
Still ahead tonight, time for the trimming. New York City's most famous Christmas tree gets dressed up for a big night out.
Plus, what you've all been waiting for, Bernie's pick for Weasel of the Week.
Here's what you might put down on a typical car lease. At Honda, however, we had a different idea. We took our fully equipped 1995 Honda Accord LX and lowered the down payment to some rather nice round numbers. The zero down short-term lease from your Honda dealer. Zero down and $289 a month for 30 months.
Jerry Seinfeld, his quirks, his hang-ups, his girlfriend. It's all about Seinfeld's secrets. Plus, a special preview of the sexiest swimsuits for $95 on the next Hard Copy.
Tomorrow at 7, then at 7:30.
First it was Heather, now it's ex-porn star Tracy Lord. Can this blonde bombshell make it as Aaron Spelling's newest secret weapon? Exclusive Tracy Lord's Melrose Place debut on E.T.
At 7:30 tomorrow, right after Hard Copy on Channel 2.
Think of all the songs yet to be sung. All the games yet to be played. All the ideas yet to be imagined. Think of all the hopes and dreams and promise yet to be realized. Of all the arguments against abortion, these are the most compelling. Life, what a beautiful choice.
More frequent flights would solve my problems.
Timing's important. I need an airline that has numerous flights.
Definitely, more flights would be better.
Frequency is very important. Timeliness. How often it leaves.
It's nice to have one every hour.
In the morning, take care of business, come back in the evening.
The Continental Light Shuttle. Always a flight when you want to leave at a price you want to pay. Big airline, little prices.
This morning I came in on a non-stop flight, took an hour, it was great.
It's been said Jeep Cherokee Sport owners have a unique way of looking at things. Well, maybe if you enjoyed 190 horses, available four-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a driver's airbag, you'd have a different outlook too. Or perhaps it's just the values they got on the classic Jeep Cherokee Sport. Get into one today and change your whole perspective.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
New York's most dazzling Christmas tree is now in Manhattan. The 85-foot Norway spruce is in place at Rockefeller Center. It comes from the yard of a couple in South Salem, upstate. The tree will be decorated with 25,000 lights to be lit in a ceremony on December 2nd.
Just around the corner. Here's Bernie with sports and the Knicks on the road tonight.
Yeah, and playing well. They've had struggled a little bit lately. They're in L.A. tonight, taking on the Lakers. Second quarter, 4 minutes to go. The Knicks lead it 39-30. We've got highlights. We'll start in the first quarter. Knicks with the ball. Derek Harper's going to get it here in the corner. He'll take the shot. Watch Patrick Ewing swoop in and slams it through. Knicks led it 15-14. Moments later, it'll be the Lakers with the ball. Inside, it's Tony Smith. Nice move. He's going to find Cedric Ceballos. Nice fake. He slams it. Now in the second, though, the Knicks lead it 39-33. I'm sorry, what's the score?
32. Sorry, it looked like a three-pointer, but it wasn't from outside.
What did you guys, what is in there? Come on, you got one of them toys.
A little electronic magic.
Say anything about Chris Webber? Did you hear about him?
No,
He signed with Golden State tonight, but the rumor is they're about ready to trade him to the Washington Bullets. Wow, that'd get interested for the Knicks real fast, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's the story. Webber has signed with Golden State. The trade has not been formulated yet. College basketball tonight, preseason NIT at Syracuse, an upset. George Washington beats the Orangemen in overtime, 111-104. Michael Lloyd hit the tying shot at the end of regulation for Syracuse, and Dick Vitale was in mid-season form.
He looked to Moulton, now came out on top to Lloyd. Lloyd made the catch, the ball in the air. He got it! Oh! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Oh! I can't believe it! Heartbreak on top of my comment! Get those people back from the parking lot!
Squirrely, isn't it? 111-104. I love that guy. Syracuse loses to GW. He is good. New York Giants will start Dave Brown at quarterback next Monday when they face the Oilers in Houston. It was Brown who led the Giants through the first 9 weeks of the season. Kent Graham started for Arizona. He was not very impressive. And when he got the news today, Kent Graham was not a happy camper.
I feel this decision wasn't fair. I think, Dan told me that he was going to give me every shot that he was going to give Dave. He chose not to.
Is it unfair to pull me after several games and maybe all the things weren't my fault? I'm just happy with the decision because it's benefiting me and hopefully benefiting the team.
All right, quick update. 39-32 still. Thank you. No change.
Virginia Slims tennis, what they call timeout? Virginia Slims tennis tonight at the Garden. Fifth seed Mary Pierce knocked off Amanda Custer in 3 sets. Pierce will be in the far court on this point.
She'll get that.
And she does it.
Boom. Mary Pierce moves on to face Steffi Graf tomorrow night. In hockey, both sides in the labor dispute say they will meet tomorrow, but they won't say where. Meanwhile, you say you need a hockey fix? We've got highlights of Cape Breton Oilers against Hershey. It's goalie Joaquin Gage with the puck. He's going to knock it in off his own man as he tries to clear it and into his net. Watch it again. Yeah, this is really top-notch hockey. Joaquin Gage with the puck, knocked it in off his own man into his own net. Hershey went on to beat Cape Breton 7-4. Finally, it's Wednesday.
Winding down and
Very nice. That makes it 43-35.
Gee, I'm sorry I interrupted. Finally, it's Wednesday. Time to answer the question that has taken Leroy Neiman away from his sketch pad.
Bernie, who's your Weasel of the Week?
I've got a sketch here. Maybe this is a candidate.
Leroy Neiman's got time to listen. Well, you got to go all the way to Arizona, Leroy, to sketch this guy. It's none other than that old lovable Buddy Ryan of the Cardinals who went to great lengths this week to prove that a shoe has more compassion than he does. This past Monday, when Jack Party and Kevin Gilbride were both fired by the Houston Oilers, former Oiler defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan uttered this gem.
Well, I think I predicted he'd be selling insurance in 2 years, and he's a year ahead of schedule.
That's vintage Buddy, and that's probably why he's the least liked coach in our profession.
That, of course, stemmed from Buddy's dislike of Gilbride and their infamous punching episode on the sidelines last year. Gilbride, who survived a battle with cancer several years ago, took his shots at Buddy, too.
As I said before, I was lucky. I had 2 bouts with cancer. Unfortunately, only one of them was operable.
Not what you'd exactly call light stuff, but then again, Buddy Ryan never got a light response from anyone in his life. And of course, as we all know, Buddy will be the greatest example of the phrase, what comes around goes around. Come on, Gilbride just got fired. Buddy dumps on him. Nice job, Buddy. And congratulations. You get our Weasel of the Week. All right, kids, wake up.
47-35.
Just seconds left in the first
Knicks on a 12-5 run.
Okay, pace yourself now, because you know there's only 76 games left. So.
It's amazing how much can happen during the course of the fourth period.
What was Weasel? Oh, no, we caught it, Buddy Ryan.
Coming right up, Frank tells us whether the wet weather is over.
And another look at Tropical Storm Gordon. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning on Channel 2 News, underwritten by the American Express card. Channel 2 Sports Report, sponsored by your Tri-State Toyota dealers.
Special Toyota news. Your Toyota dealer's having an inventory reduction sale. To reduce inventory before January, every Toyota must go. Every Camry will be sold or leased with big savings. Get huge incentive savings on 94 Camrys. Lease a 95 Camry with an amazingly low monthly payment. At $239 a month, all that Camry quality becomes very affordable. Or buy with no down payment, no payments until next year. Don't miss the savings. Your Toyota dealer's inventory sale absolutely ends December 5th.
Frank Sinatra returns with more of the world's greatest musical talents to sing new renditions of his time-honored classics. Frank Sinatra, Duets 2. The best is yet to come on Capitol CDs and cassettes. Just put a ribbon on it.
If I had one wish, I would wish that the air would be clean air so everybody could be healthy.
For years, Exxon people have been working to help clear the air with a series of lower emission gasolines.
Clean air looks like nothing except sometimes it has rain in it.
Right now at Exxon, we're introducing reformulated gasolines to help reduce pollution in those cities with the most serious problems.
Well, clean air is important to us, and if we didn't have any, we wouldn't have any plants to look at and cool trees to climb and stuff.
At Exxon, we don't just design gasoline for what cars need. We also design it for what people need.
If we don't take care of the air, our future generations are going to be very, very sad that we were so neglectful.
No other country on earth offers so many places where you can catch your breath. And so many others that'll take your breath away. For a closer look at our exotic world, call for your free travel guide. Come, celebrate the dawn of the new South Africa.
Tonight, New York's new governor, George
Pataki.
plus Richard Lewis.
I couldn't have said it better.
And Melissa Etheridge.
Would you believe Scarlett and I used the same dressmaker?
Frank with more on Tropical Storm Gordon.
The big story in the storm is the rain. Absolutely incredible amounts of rain, and of course all storm warnings are down. Florida is in pretty good shape. Now, as far as the storm is going, now we have to worry along the coast as it heads up. Let me take the folks on a little ride right through it with the 3D Earth Watch. Looking down, you can see the eye of the storm. It's just off Daytona Beach, about 60 miles. It's beginning to move up along the shore, and as it moves up along the shore, the gale warnings have been hoisted as far north as Virginia Beach. Now, going down into the storm, the incredible amount of rain that they've had there, just think, 3 months of our rain, all in a couple of days at Fort Lauderdale. They had 13 inches, up to Boca Raton about 9 inches, and as you begin to fly north, up to Boca, past Boca, right up to West Palm Beach, you get again that enormous amount of rainfall. That means a lot of problems for farmlands there, 8.7 inches. Over the top of the clouds as we go over it, that is where the area of storms will begin to form right along the coast, so that Virginia's beaches will now have gale warnings. And as the clouds proceed northward, we're fortunate because the ridge of high pressure you see here is built in. That's moving down, and that will clear us off. And skies are beginning to break up, at least the clouds are. We have an improvement in our weather pattern over the entire Great Lakes region, and that will hold the wet weather away at least until Friday, when the rain begins to move up and all that moisture. So our forecast for the metropolitan area right now, we've got cloudy skies. There are still a few sprinkles well to the south of us, but again, clouds beginning to break. Temperatures will be on the cool side in the 40s. The humidity is 42%. And for tonight, overnight, we expect that readings will get down into the 40s. Again, just a chance of a few light showers over southern New Jersey from the center of the state. Starting at 43 degrees tomorrow, we'll finally begin to see some breaks. Variable cloudiness through the day, with temperatures getting to where they should be in the mid-50s. Today's high was 52. Well, that's a little below normal, but we'll get back up to a warmer temperature on Thursday with a high near 60, 59 on Friday, and then the wet weather all tied in with Gordon. Well, some of that will reach us late Friday into Saturday, and it won't be that bad.
No chance this bubble of high pressure will keep it away for good?
No, we're going to get the impact, and particularly coastal areas will get some fairly strong winds, may have some shore erosion.
Thank you, Frank. Well, we hope you stay with us.
We're going to show you a thrill that's not cheap, but what a thrill.
Channel 2 Weather Report, sponsored by your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer.
If it seems like you're always putting money into your luxury car, you might want to take note of a recent study. Based on projected cost of ownership from maintenance to depreciation, the Lexus ES was named the best overall value in its class. So drive an ES instead of the money pit. To save money down the road, see your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer.
I tell my kids, your first responsibility is to be a good student. It's to do the best you can. Do your homework. Pay attention in class. Follow through. My kids learn that hard work and discipline can really pay off.
That's why New Jersey public school students outperform their counterparts in math in every part of the nation. Plus, our schools have the nation's highest percentage of advanced college placement courses. The truth is, New Jersey's public schools work.
One love, one heart, and now let's get together and feel alright.
Sandals offers couples the best of Jamaica with 6 ultra-luxurious resorts at one all-inclusive price. So bring the one you love to Sandals and fall in love all over again.
Come to Jamaica.
For more information, call 1-800-SANDALS.
You need that package early. Very early. And sometimes 10:30 isn't early enough. For those times, UPS introduces early AM service. Guaranteed overnight delivery by 8:30 a.m. Because sooner or later, you're going to need a package. Sooner.
There's only one place for the widest selection in front-wheel drive minivans. From the long of it to the short of it. From the value price to the lap of luxury. The one place for it all is our place, the Minivan Store, at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Now your Chrysler Plymouth dealers have 2 Plymouth Neons, both very playful, frisky, and safety conscious. Plymouth Neon, now available in original and new faster acting.
Zimbabwe's biggest tourist attraction has people at the end of their ropes these days. Victoria Falls, a longtime favorite of travelers from all corners of the earth, has now become a mecca for bungee jumpers. And 130 yards 390 feet straight down. It's one of the highest natural jumps in the world. And don't think of this as a cheap thrill. They're charging $100 a jump. While we're on the subject of thrill sports, let's get a quick Knicks update from Bernie. Bernie?
Wow. Imagine that. All right, Knicks at the half lead the Lakers 53-36. That's at the half.
Great. Good for them. Thanks, Bernie.
That's Channel 2 News at 11 for this Wednesday. I'm Dana Tyler.
I'm John Roberts. Up next, Late Show with David Letterman and George Pataki's Top 10 list. Be sure to get your first news of the day with Channel 2 News this morning at 5:55 a.m. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.